Hello, everybody. How are you? We're down here near Disneyland and at McDonald's, actually. And I thought I would take the opportunity to continue our series on San Diego. This is going to be the 5 worst breakfast places. You know, the place you just want to go for a relaxing breakfast and do not go to these places. And the first one is Minister Breakfast. Now, Minister Breakfast is only staffed and maintained by ministers. Now, that doesn't sound like such a bad thing, other than they're working outside their expertise. Now, what they do, they'll give you a discount if you listen to a sermon. And that also doesn't sound so bad, but the ministers are not very good cooks is the problem. And so you get your breakfast, the toast is burnt, the eggs are runny. It's just not it's not aesthetically pleasing, nor does it taste any good, and you're thinking about it for the next 2 days. So I'm going to say no to Minister Breakfast. Now, the second one on our list is obnoxious eggs. Now, obnoxious eggs, they have, it's kind of a throwback to these diners. They used to abuse the patrons. Obnoxious eggs is similar, other than when you order your breakfast, they will ask you how many eggs, and then they will throw eggs from the kitchen at your table. The good news is they're not very good shots. I don't know if they do that on purpose, where they kind of miss by 6-7 feet, but maybe your best bet is to just order the pancakes there and avoid the onslaught of eggs coming flying at your head. So that's number 2 on our list. And number 3 on our list is Expertise Breakfast. Expertise Breakfast is in downtown San Diego. They have another one on the far east side. Now, Expertise Breakfast will ask you, what is your expertise? Why are you qualified to come in there? And you have to show that you have some kind of expertise. Now, here's the thing. Most of us have some kind of expertise, so don't be bashful. Don't assume because you're not a doctor that you can't go in there. So they'll ask you at the door, and I'll be honest with you, they're kind of haughty about it. They're kind of sniff, they're kind of like, well, why should we let you in? So be bold and be confident. So when they say, well, what is your expertise? Why should we let you in? Just say, listen, I'm the 1997 Tiddlywink champion of Fresno, California. Say it with gusto and just laugh. Like, hey, everybody knows that. Or if you're just more of a homebody, just say, listen, I can monogram shirts with my sewing machine better than anybody on my block. And then the thing is, you got to sell it with the confidence. That's basically how I've gotten through life, because I know nothing. So say it with conviction, and they're going to let you in, and you're going to enjoy one of the best breakfasts you ever had. But the problem is, it's just too much work. It's too much work to constantly go through this gatekeeping. I put it on my list of 5 worst breakfast places in San Diego. Now, number 4, let me check my list here. Number 4 is Full Tilt Brain. Full Tilt Brain is a bunch of students from the private school down there, private schools down in San Diego, that are studying some of the toughest courses on campus. So pre-med, pre-law, advertising, and mall security. Those are all some of the toughest majors. So they decided, listen, we're all studying all night anyway. We all meet for breakfast and down another 15 cups of coffee. We might as well serve breakfast. So that's what they've done. They put together Full Tilt Brain right next to the Northern San Diego State University campus. And you can go in there and you can get a good breakfast. But here's the problem, guys. The whole time they're throwing questions at you that I haven't heard since I was in school, and I didn't know then. Now, for them, it's probably easy. It's probably kid stuff. But they come out there to get your food, to get your order for your food, and they're like, my name is Jamie. I'll be your waiter for this morning. Before we get into asking you what you want, could anybody here at the table tell me what is the Pythagorean theorem? And I remember when I was there, we would just look at each other like, it sounds familiar. Does anybody have a clue? And he would just laugh, and then he'd explain it. But he still wouldn't take our order, and we were hungry as heck. And he goes, hey, does anybody know Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs? And guys, I knew this one. I had it. And I ripped it just from stem to stern. I gave it to him. I go, now let's eat. And he goes, one more. I'm like, oh. So he's like, what forms an isosceles triangle? And I'm like, dude, none of us were good at math or geometry. If you don't take our order, I'm gonna take that isosceles triangle and cut your arm with it. All right, all right. So let me check my list again. So number 5 on our list of the worst breakfast places in San Diego is the Crooked Royal Brothers. Now, the Crooked Royal Brothers used to be part of the British royal family, and they got kicked out due to some shenanigans that they were pulling by scamming countries in appearance fees and then not showing up. So Argentina got nabbed. Macedonia, all over the world. These two brothers would pretend that they were going to show up, and these countries would sell stadiums. 200,000 people, big soccer stadiums filled with people that wanted to see royal family members, and then they just wouldn't show up, and they'd go into Hyde Park in London and get drunk and laugh about it. Well, they got kicked out. I mean, Queen Elizabeth, she has some... there's some leeway. There's a little bit of leeway when you're in the royal family, but at a certain point, she puts the hammer down, and we've seen that recently with Harry, okay, and his situation. So these two guys decided to open up a breakfast place in San Diego called the Crooked Royal Brothers, and the thing is, that not only can they not show up for appearances, they can't cook. And guys, it's some of the worst breakfast I've ever had. If you've ever looked at British food in the morning and decided to move to France, well, that's exactly what they're serving. So I'm going to put it on my list of the worst breakfast places in San Diego. And that completes our list. Come on back for more.